Hello, it's Sylly again at MOTO-guru. I just thought I'd talk you through some of the cleaning products we've got because I've tested them out on my bike yesterday. So here's my bikey, looking lovely and clean. And I'm just going to talk you through what I used on it. I've tried out some of our new Muc-Off products. So over here is all the things I used. So the first thing I did was wet the bike and then sprayed it with this Muc-Off cleaner, which I've used a lot before. I really like it. It does the job. Especially if you're feeling lazy, you can just spray it on, leave it on for 10 minutes, wash it off, and your bike looks great. So we use that first, and then with the bucket and some of this in, which is MOTO-guru, which is great stuff, shampoo, conditioner, big sponge, and just soap the bike over, washed it off again, and then let it to dry for a bit, and then brought it back inside and wiped off all the water. And then things that I used then was this motorcycle degreaser, and I used that on the back chain side of the rear wheel to get a lot of the grease and muck off and on the wheel there, and it worked brilliantly. Really easy to get all that stuff off. So you just sort of spray it on your cloth or spray it on the wheel, but don't get it near your disc brake, your discs. And that came off really easily. And then I used chain cleaner on the chain. Just with a rag, and had the bike on a paddock stand, turning the back wheel, cleaning the chain and the sprocket. That worked brilliantly. Really, I've never used that before, and I thought it was brilliant. And then we got to the paintwork, and I used speed polish on all the black paintwork. And then on top of that, I used silicone shine, which also protects your paintwork so that the rain and muck sort of beads off and falls off a bit easier, so it doesn't get stuck to your bike. And then I used this matte finish detailer on all the black plastics of the bike, which is really good as well. I've never used that before. Haven't used silicone shine before either. I'm quite impressed with it. And then finally, I lubed the chain. Even though I've got a Scott oiler on the bike, if anyone has a Scott oiler on their bike, your Scott oiler only oils one side of the chain where the little tube is. So the inside of your chain doesn't really get a lot of oil off a Scott oiler. They're great for just general lubrication if you're doing a lot of riding. But I always lube my chain every couple of weeks as well, on top of that, both sides of the chain, to make sure it's okay. So let's just go and look at the bike. So I'm going to take to the back wheel. So often on your back wheel you've got loads and loads of crap, because you get oil off the chain flicking all over it, and then you get mud stuck to it, and this side of your wheel can become really messy. So the degreaser worked really well on that. And then I don't know if you can see my chain, it was completely black, so was the sprocket. Obviously it's got a little bit of wear on it, but a bit of a wire brush would have brought that off, but I didn't have one handy at the time. So I've used chain cleaner on that, and that's brought it up quite well. And we also used this chain cleaner on that lovely BMW S1000R, and I'll show you that chain in a minute as well. Okay, and then on all the shiny bits we use the speed polish and then silicone shine. So this bike's 10 years old, so it's got a few little stone chips in the tank and stuff like that, and often here your legs rub against, and it can get a bit matte because your leathers are rubbing, and actually the silicone shine's brought it up really nice and shiny. I was really impressed with that. It looks great. And then on all the plastics I used the detailer, and that's brought them up really nicely. Also on my bike I've got Oxford heated grips, Bark Buster Blizzards, which I have on the bike in the winter, which are brilliant. They make a little warm cave for your hands. They're amazing. So bike is looking really nice. It's so satisfying when you've cleaned your bike really well, and then you have to take it out and get it mucky again. Okay, another thing I did was on the pipes. I don't know if you can see down here, I used Harpic Power Max. These were orange, really orange, and I left it on for about half an hour and just scrubbed it off, but it probably needs doing again, but it's brought that up really quite nicely. So that's Harpic Power Max on there. Okay, so there we go. So that was just testing out some of the products we've got on our Muc-Off stand, which I'm quite impressed with. They've got a few more to test, which I'll do over the next few weeks. So these are all the things we used. Motorcycle cleaner. Then I used MOTO-guru shampoo. We haven't got any Muc-Off shampoo or anything. I'm not sure if they do any, but I will find out. Degreaser on the back wheel. chain cleaner on the chain, speed polish on the nice shiny black bits, then silicone shine on top of that, matte detailer, and I use dry chain lube, but there's various different types of chain lube. I'll just quickly show you this is the BMW, and this is a much newer bike with a nice new chain. It's only done 2,000 miles, so the chain cleaner, if you do it every few weeks, it will keep your chain looking like that, which is pretty immaculate. Amazing. Okay, so that's the end of my review of the product, so see you, bye.